Welcome back to this week's Emet Inspired. I'm very happy to be able to offer a few words and some thoughts of inspiration as we go into the Shabbat. One thing that we do at Emet is we offer a chabura for our advanced girls, in which we're working on different midot and ways to grow in Torah. One thing we're working right now in particular is on a fascinating midah, which is really the midah of how do we greet one another? How do we say hello to each other? And surprisingly, this is something very important because the task of a Jew really is to be holik b'drachav, to walk in the ways of Hashem. And we understand that one of the attributes of Hashem is that He's meir panav. He has a haras panim. He shines His countenance upon us. In other words, He greets us with such warmth and a smile. And therefore, that's the way Kodesh Baruch Hu does it. It means that we also have to resemble Him, and we have to work on how do we greet each other. How do we look at each other? And just like Hashem greets us and gives us a warmth and brings out something from us that we didn't know we had, that's what we're supposed to greet each other. Look at someone and say to them, give them the greeting they need in order to bring out their greatness. So, very fascinatingly, we understand that if we want to know really how far does this idea go in terms of greeting, what does a greeting look like? Well, we understand that we have a halacha. And the halacha says as follows. It says it's brought down, the one who goes and he greets his friend before he davens, before he prays, it's as if he's offered up some sort of false offering. And it's brought down actually in the halacha l'maisa, brought down in Shulchan Aruch. Then what's it say? We understand that it says that we paskin and says that Misha pogesh b'shuch, one who meets a friend in the marketplace, or the mashkin the pitch, or a person who goes to a friend's house before he prays. We're more matmer on that. But the Shulchan Aruch, we understand that that's something that we're not supposed to do. One can't greet somebody before they greet a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And that's the halacha. And the question is why? And the reason is, and the time brought down, is because to greet somebody before one's greeted Hashem is in some ways a denial of the honor that we owe Hashem. If I greet my friend, or I go out of my way to greet my friend before I daven, perhaps if I meet them along the way, or someone's in the home, it might be different. But to go out of my way to greet a friend before I've greeted the Creator of the world, it's insulting to Hashem. How can we do something which in any way detracts from the honor that we have to give to Hashem? And therefore, we greet someone before I've greeted Hashem, before I've greeted God. I've dishonored God in some way. The question on that, and the Alter Mislabotka asked this question, let's just be thinking, they said, well, wait a minute. The way we greet somebody is completely different than the way we greet Hashem. Hashem, obviously the King of Kings, we greet with all the honor due the King. And yet, my friend I greet, I should show honor, I show respect, but certainly it's different than the way I'll greet the Ribbono Shel Olam. The Alter Mislabotka answers with a fascinating insight, and he points out that we know that in the next world, as we arrive, we're going to be asked certain questions. Some of the questions I think we're familiar with. Have we practiced our business? Did we practice our business honestly? Did we mitzvah Yeshua? Did we look towards the Mashiach? Were we koveit in the Torah? Did we set time for Torah? However, there's another question that maybe some of us aren't so familiar with. And the question that they're going to ask us in the next world is, Himlachta et chavercha. Did you treat your friend like a king? Melech, himlachta. Did you cause your friend to be a melech? Did you cause your friend to be a king? That's a question they're going to ask us. So what does it mean? It means the way we greet each other has to be the way we greet a king. And therefore to go out of our way to greet one's friend before we greeted the King of Kings, in some way it's a lack of honor for Hashem. Because the way we greet another human being is as if that person is a king. Imlachta et chavercha is what they're going to ask us. Did you treat your friend royally? And therefore, to go out of our way to greet that friend before we prayed, in essence, is taking away, detracts from the honor that is due to the King of Kings. This is the way we have to greet one another. We have to look at each other and see royalty in who we are. Look at each other and say, you're a king in my eyes. And by doing so, and letting that person realize how much we value them. Of course, that does so much for a person to realize that they have a greatness that they can express out into the world. It gives such confidence. If we could do that for one another, if we can understand that every human being, and every Jew, of course, possesses this royalty. What a wonderful, wonderful way to give that gift. Let somebody know how royal they are. Treat them like a king. Greet them the way Kodesh Baruch Hu wants to. And B'ezras Hashem, we should feel that royalty. We should treat each other with that royalty. And then by doing so, we should build a nation that truly understands this great gift of what it means to be an Am Segula.